Great distress coming. I was shown greater distress in the land than we have yet witnessed. I heard groans and cries of distress, and saw large companies in active battle. I heard the booming of the cannon, the clash of arms, the hand-to-hand fight, and the groans and prayers of the dying. The ground was covered with the wounded and the dead. I saw desolate, despairing families and pinching want in many dwellings. Even now many families are suffering want, but this will increase. Faces of many looked haggard, pale, and pinched with hunger. I was shown that the people of God should be closely united in the bonds of Christian fellowship and love. God alone can be our shield and strength in this time of our national calamities. People of God should awake. Their opportunities to spread the truth should be improved, for they will not last long. I was shown distress, complexity, and famine in the land. Satan is now seeking to hold God's people in a state of inactivity, keep them from acting their part in spreading the truth. They may at last be weighed in the balance and found wanting. God's people must take warning and discern the signs of the times. The signs of Christ's coming are too plain to be doubted, and in view of these things, everyone who professes the truth should be a living preacher. God calls upon all, both preachers and people, to awake. All heaven is astir. The scenes of earth's history are fast closing. We are amid the perils of the last days. Greater perils are before us, and yet we are not awake. This lack of activity and earnestness in the cause of God is dreadful. This death stupor is from Satan. He controls the minds of unconsecrated Sabbath keepers and leads them to be jealous of one another, fault-finding and censorious. It is his special work to divide hearts, that the influence, strength, and labor of God's service may be among unconsecrated Sabbath keepers, and their precious time be occupied in settling little differences when it should be spent in proclaiming the truth to unbelievers. I was shown God's people waiting for some change to take place, a compelling power to take hold of them. They will be disappointed, for they are wrong. They must act. They must take hold of the work themselves, and earnestly cry to God for true knowledge of themselves. The scenes which are passing before us are of sufficient magnitude to cause us to arouse and urge the truth home to hearts of all who will listen. The harvest of the earth is nearly ripe. I was shown how important it is that the ministers who engage in the solemn, responsible work proclaiming the third angel's message be right. The Lord is not straitened for means or instruments with which to do his work. He can speak at any time by whom he will, and his word is powerful and will accomplish the thing whereunto it is sent. But if the truth is not sanctified, made pure and clean, the hands and hearts of him who ministers in holy things, he is liable to speak according to his own imperfect experience. And when he speaks of himself according to the decisions of his own unsanctified judgment, his counsel is not then of God, but of himself. As he that is called of God is called to be holy, so he that is approved and set apart of men must give evidence of his holy calling, and show forth in his heavenly conversation and conduct that he is faithful to him who hath called him. There are fearful woes for those who preach truth but are not sanctified by it, and also for those who consent to receive and maintain the unsanctified to minister to them in word and doctrine. I am alarmed for the people of God who refuse to believe solemn, important truth, for I know that many of them are not converted or sanctified through it. Men can hear and acknowledge the whole truth, and yet know nothing of the power of godliness. All who preach the truth will not themselves be saved by it. Said the angel, Be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord. Time has come when those who choose the Lord for their present and future portion must trust in him alone. Everyone professing godliness must have an experience of his own. The recording angel is making a faithful record of the words and acts of God's people. Angels are watching the development of character and weighing moral worth. Those who profess to believe the truth should be right themselves and exert all their influence to enlighten and win others to the truth. Their words and works are the channel through which pure principles of truth and holiness are conveyed to the world. They are the salt of the earth and the light thereof. I saw that in looking heavenward we shall see light and peace, but in looking to the world we shall see that every refuge must soon fail us and every good soon pass away. There is no help for us but in God. In this state of earth's confusion we can be composed, strong, and safe only in the strength of living faith, nor can we be at peace only as we rest in God and wait for his salvation. Greater light shines upon us than shone upon our fathers. Cannot be accepted or honored of God in rendering the same service or doing the same works our fathers did. In order to be accepted and blessed of God as they were, we must imitate their faithfulness and zeal, improve our light as they improved theirs, and do as they would have done had they lived in our day. We must walk in the light shines upon us, otherwise that light will become dark. God requires of us to exhibit to the world in our character and work that measure of the spirit of union and oneness which is in accordance with the sacred truths we possess and with the spirit of those prophecies that are fulfilling in these last days. Truth which has reached our understanding and the light which is shone on the soul will judge and condemn us if we turn away and refuse to be led by them. What shall I say to arouse the remnant people of God? I was shown that dread scenes are before us. Satan and his angels are bringing all their powers to bear upon God's people. He knows that if they sleep a little longer, he is sure of them, for their destruction is certain. I warn all who profess the name of Christ, closely examine themselves and make full and thorough case of all their wrong. They may go beforehand judge, and that a recording angel may write pardon of their name. My brother, my sister, if these fresh moments of mercy are not improved, you will be left without excuse. You make no special effort to arouse. You will not manifest zeal in repenting. These golden moments will soon pass. You will be weighed in the balance found wanting. Then your agonized cries will be of no avail. Then will apply the words of the Lord, because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, no man regarded. Ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge, and did not use the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. The turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of the fool shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from evil.